Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the DCL Show, coming to you from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, Realtor with MovingToOrlando.com, Mr. Drake Shadwell.
Hey, everybody.
Senior editor of The Diz, Ms. Jackie Gailey.
Hi, everybody.
Who also makes the most ridiculous, amazing apple cake. Is that what that's called?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Thank you.
Apple cake. Okay?
Makes me so happy.
I am all about that apple cake. Also joining us, agent extraordinaire with DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com, Ms. Elaine Edwards.
Hi, friends.
And our associate editor on The Diz, Miss Denny Sunderly.
Hey there.
And our amazing producer, Mr. Craig Williams.
Ahoy, hoy.
And just a reminder, folks, this show, along with everything we produce, is brought to you by DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com, of which I am one of the owners. If you like our content, if you like the stuff that we put out, we ask for your support. Book your next Disney vacation. With Dreams Unlimited, you are not going to pay any more than you would pay going through Disney directly. In the case of Disney Cruise Line, you'll also get a great shipboard credit up to $1,000 and the services of a phenomenal agent who can help guide you through the entire process of booking, of planning, everything you need to know, just like agent extraordinaire, Ms. Elaine Edwards. So please show your support and book your next trip with Dreams Unlimited Travel. Okay, so we have been asked multiple times to do a show about Concierge. And since now I've done Concierge on Disney Cruise Line many times, I just got off the Dream, a 4-night on the Dream where I was in Concierge. And And now, and I mean, Drake was on that sailing, so it was Drake's first cruise, first time in Concierge, first.
Ruined him.
Ruined him.
Spoiled being on Concierge.
I was.
I'll never go back.
I mean, Bosco is a good friend of mine now, so I feel bad if I don't go and hang out with him.
You should be scared.
Has anybody else done it?
No.
I'm booked. I'm excited, but
We have longingly looked into the window of the hallway.
Yes.
Very Stella Dallas.
It's lovely.
Who gets
down
that
hall.
reference?
Not me.
Who gets that reference? Stella Dallas.
Sorry, people.
Barbara Stanwyck did it Stanwyck did it in the original, and then Bette Midler did it in the remake.
Sunset.
No, Stella Dallas.
Stella Dallas. Well, we'll add this to the queue.
To the watch list.
It takes a ferry. Okay, so it was a good movie, though.
Okay, all right, I'm going to add it.
But because she's at the never mind.
Okay. Just add it.
Just watch Stella Dallas. You're much more likely to find the Bette Midler version than the Barbara Stanwyck, but either one. Okay, so let's, before we get into the nuts and bolts of what the experience of Concierge is, Elaine, let's talk about the booking process, where that differs from a regular stateroom.
yes. So if you are considering booking Concierge, you do need to be aware of the procedures because it's a little bit different than booking the other staterooms. First of all, if you are utilizing a Dreams Unlimited travel agent, we can only hold the room for you for 1 day. Normally, we are able to put courtesy holds on reservations for a few days. With Concierge, we only get 1 day. We can't extend that hold or anything like that. So you'll want to kind of make a decision fast or, kind of pre-look at the pricing, that kind of thing. The deposit that you pay is 100% non-refundable when you book Concierge. Now, you can modify it so we can move you out of Concierge and put you in a non-Concierge stateroom. We can move you to another sailing. We can do things like that, but the funds attached will always remain Concierge, even if we move you to an inside stateroom. Those funds are completely non-refundable. We can't, once it's booked and deposited, we can't exchange people out. So if you're sailing, you have 2 people in your stateroom and the second person can't go, that is, you will get dinged on the deposit
Wow.
for that second person. So you got to know, you got to be
That's-
firm in what you're doing.
That's tough.
Now, something very good to know is if you're going to utilize DCL's vacation protection, you will want to add it at the time that you pay your deposit on your concierge stateroom. And you have to, all of the Dreams agents know to do this. All of our payments team know to do this. But if you're booking it directly or some other way, which I don't know why you would, you have to make sure that that money gets attached to the vacation protection specifically. So you're paying deposit and vacation protection specifically, and then it will protect your deposit. If you get sick and you have to cancel or something happens, it will fall under that vacation protection policy. So those are all very important to know. And then the final payment date, you'll want to make sure, because one of the benefits that we'll talk about is early booking of onboard activities and excursions. You do have to be paid in full before you can make any of those bookings. So because you're going to be making those bookings so early in the process, that final payment date's going to be earlier too. So
Okay.
things to know.
Now, about what goes along with being a concierge guest. The first thing you're going to really experience is the email you get from Shoreside Concierge, letting you know that whatever you need, let them know. This can include, it's not guaranteed. I've been very lucky. This can include, hey, I want a cabana on Castaway Cay. Very difficult to get because it's one of those things, you've got to be ready the day they open up because they sell out like that. They hold a certain number of those back for concierge guests. They do the same thing on a lot of the popular shore excursions, the ones that tend to book. So, for example, when I did Alaska a few years ago, and I was able to get upgraded to concierge. I checked in. I had a regular stateroom, and when I got to the port early in Vancouver, and was the first person in line for that upgrade desk, and was able to get upgraded to a 1-bedroom stateroom. So obviously, I hadn't been able to book any. Like there was one particular excursion where they a tender boat pulls right up alongside the ship. You get on, and it takes you right up to a glacier. I mean, and it's incredible. It's incredible. Very difficult to get. Concierge was able to get it for me. In particular, like my favorite concierge person, Glenn McMaster, he's amazing. They're all amazing. They're all amazing. And I've said this before, and I want to say this right at the top. I've done had the concierge experience at every Disney resort in the United States. I've had it on out at Disneyland Paris, and I am going to tell you, I can say this from personal experience. Concierge on Disney Cruise Line has no equal in the Disney universe. In fact, I've stayed at Park Hyatts. I've stayed at Four Seasons. There's no equal to DCL Concierge. I don't know where they find these people. I don't know how they train these people. But whatever they're doing, I think every concierge at every Disney resort should be made to shadow these people so that they can be shown how this is done. And I don't say that lightly. I do not say that lightly, but I'm talking about multiple experiences. And I am a miserable old queen. I will complain about everything and anything. They have never given me one moment's reason to complain about them. Never once. And that's saying something coming from me. Mm-hmm. And especially because it's not a cheap premium. So we just did a 4-night in a 1-bedroom, $6,500 for 4 nights. So it's not exactly inexpensive. I walked off the ship feeling like I got my money's worth, in large part because of how incredible that concierge team is. How incredible they are. So I want to make sure I start off with that. But, so you get your email from Shoreside Concierge, just, introducing themselves and do you need anything, So for this sailing, as soon as they emailed me, I'm like, yeah, I'd love a cabana on Castaway Cay. They were all sold out. And again, not guaranteed. Not guaranteed. And they were able to get me one. That's nice. Because I love the cabanas on Castaway Cay. They're really cool.
I got to experience one for the first time in August, and it was a situation. They were all sold out. We got on the ship and we messaged through guest services, said, can you put us on the wait list? And it was Concierge that actually called us and said, look, we have some that aren't booked that our guests aren't using. Do you want one of these?
See, it's awesome. It's awesome.
I think those cabanas were what? It was $700 for the day.
Six. I've got it all in the notes, but yeah, it's like $650.
So worth it.
Yeah, Pete will pay for convenience all day, every day, but I'm not that kind of person.
He has the first dollar he ever made.
Yeah, I do. I've saved since college. That's kind of my MO. And this was the first time that I was like, wow, this is seems like a really high price tag, but it's worth it. Especially I imagine if you had, maybe if you could, can you share with another family? If you coordinated with,
I can invite everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could coordinate it. There's enough space just having that fridge there, having the shade, having the hammock. There are so many small things that you don't realize how big of a deal it makes. But it definitely made the difference between this feels like a beach day and I could spend a couple hours on the beach. I would never have left if I didn't have to. The sand, the water, and then just being able to get out of it into the shade. It extended how long you're able to comfortably stay on the beach from a couple of hours to the entire day.
Exactly. Yeah, I stayed until the last possible minute, and our host, Gregory, I love him. And he's like, you gotta go.
Bye-bye.
He put me in his golf cart, and he drove us in the golf cart all the way to the ship.
And our host was Miguel, who was right out of Central Casting. I mean, Miguel the Cabana Boy. I mean, it was awesome. It was awesome. They were phenomenal. But so this is, that's one of the things. But when you get to the port, Concierge has its own check-in. You're also escorted onto the ship by Concierge, and you sent up to the Concierge Lounge, where they will serve a small lunch, where you meet your Concierge team, and then there, throughout the cruise, you have access during certain hours. I think it was 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. In the Concierge Lounge, and one of the things that's important to note, that let's say you are staying in Concierge, but other members of your party are not. The rest of your party is not allowed in the Concierge Lounge. Only the people staying in the Concierge level room are allowed in the lounge, and that's a thing that comes up. I've seen it come up a lot. I want to make sure I'm checking my notes.
That's interesting that you say that, because we travel with multi-generations, right? And so if we ever go on a cruise with my whole family, it'll be my parents, and then it'll be my husband and I, and my brother and sister-in-law, and then all of the children. Well, if we wanted to do as a nice thing, upgrade my parents to Concierge, that would be kind of a fun thing to do for them, right? But then they would be the only two people that could go into the Concierge Lounge, you're saying. So no one else.
Right. Right.
Okay.
So you can't you can't come into the Concierge Lounge or anything like that. Now, if you're booking a shore excursion or something, like that and you need to include your family, they'll absolutely do that for you.
Oh, nice.
That's a really good point to know, because a lot of times especially in that situation that we run into, you may have one guest that in one of the staterooms in your group that's gold, and then you have people that have never traveled before, and you can't book, your Palo dinner together. You can't book your excursion together. You got to hope that there's space when it's...
Well, it's also important to remember that when you're staying concierge, they're the ones you go to for everything. You want a Palo reservation. You want a Remy reservation. You want brunch. You want a shore excursion. You have a problem. You don't go to guest services. You don't go to the restaurant. You go to them. They handle everything. And it's really, really nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Especially because they probably get to know you. And...
Yes. Hold on, Craig.
So is it similar to like Concierge Lounge at Walt Disney World, where they'll have beer, wine, and drinks during the day as well? Okay.
There are. They always have snacks out that can range anything from small sandwiches to desserts, things like that. They certainly have like all your soft drinks, coffee, things like that. I don't drink. Did you get anything to drink in it?
So yeah,
I don't drink. So
yeah, exactly. So the beer and wine that starts at 5. So you can't get it during the day, but like you can go by for. It was fun. I would always get a coffee in the morning and the afternoon, and then at 5 o'clock I would switch over to. Funnily enough, the Miguel, the cabana boy, he was also in the concierge like as a bartender. So the first day we came back from Castaway Cay, I was like, "Can I have a Moscow?" Miguel.
Yeah, Gregory works on the pool deck because we wanted to give him like extra tip because he was amazing, but we didn't bring enough cash with us. Like, where can we find you tomorrow? Like, will you be back, or where are you going to be? He's like, I'll be on the pool deck during the day. So yeah, we went and found him there.
And I can't say enough about concierge. I really can't.
It's just cool that like you talk about them getting to know you. Like they do. They greeted me every morning, and they were happy to see me in the afternoon, and we like chat about how my day was going. If you're a fan of the Moscow Mule, Miguel knew how I liked mine, and like after I asked him the first time, he just made it exactly that. Like it's a small thing. There's no doubt it's a small thing, but there is something nice about like being able to have a conversation every time you go to do these things.
It's
like,
the little things.
Yeah, like we talk about how it's nice to have the sandwiches and the drinks and all that, but it's also nice that little bit of like, oh, every time I go to take advantage of these experiences, I'm greeted by someone that is smiling, is happy, it's nice to see me, and all that.
You also, with concierge, have your own sun deck.
I was going to ask about that.
Outside you do not have to associate with the unwashed if you don't want to.
I saw that.
It's a joke, okay?
Right.
It's a joke. But one thing I want to make sure I talk about are tips for concierge. Now, in most cases, gratuities are included with your fare for your servers in the dining room and your stateroom host and your head server. That is not the case with concierge. They are, like the rest of the crew, they are in a salaried tip position. So they get a small salary, but they sustain on tips. So at the end of the cruise, you are given a separate sheet that you can fill out to give to concierge. And you like leave one tip for all of them, right? It's like you're not tipping each individual concierge. But it took a lot of work for me to find out like what do they consider a good tip? Right. Because there's no guidelines. So for me, I was always like stuffing money in an envelope, hoping it was enough. On a 3 to 4 day cruise, a normal or a decent tip would be about $150. A 7-day cruise, about $300. That's for a room. So It's not per person, and it's not per concierge. That's for that room for concierge. And keep in mind, so one of the things I like to keep in mind is that if I'm asking them a lot, like if I'm saying, hey, can you get this for me? Hey, can you get that for me? I feel like I should tip better. And when the service is great, because you got to remember, think of them like servers in a restaurant, effectively, and that's how they're getting paid. So they're living on tips. But consider, 3 or 4 day cruise. Consider about $150 for the room. 7-day cruise, about $300. But it's also based on what you feel they're worth. But again, like I said in the previous show, right now with ships being half full, be generous. Be generous.
Well, and you liken it to the serving team and how you give a gratuity to your serving team. The concierge team is available to you at any time, correct? Mm-hmm. Is there, like, if you have something at all hours, like your serving team in the restaurant is with you for 2 hours, whatever. Your concierge team literally gets to know you and is available to you anytime.
And if you stay concierge, this is one of the things I love about them. They get to know you and then they remember you. Yeah. So when I got into my stateroom and I open up the refrigerator, stocked with Coke Zero. Stocked with Coke Zero. Now I don't know if they do. I think they do that for everybody, but I don't know. But if you tell Shoreside Concierge, this is my favorite soda, please make sure it's in my room, they'll make sure it's in your room.
Well, and the team from the Wonders sent you Coke Zero on last year's cruise.
Yes.
And I remember you saying that and how much you loved that. Like, that's amazing.
And
that's so cool.
And again, okay. And you know what? And for those of you who are going to start with the elitist crap, yeah, you're damn right. I worked really hard to get to a place where I could stay in places like this. And if you made different life choices, God bless, but don't come at me for mine. It's one of the reasons I love Park Hyatt, because I had an experience at a Park Hyatt in Italy. Where, I had a suite and they came in with this trolley full of alcohol. I'm like, you got to get that out of here. You don't want what's going to happen if I start drinking what's on this trolley. And he's like, well, what do you drink? And I said, Coke Zero. And he came back with a trolley full of snacks and cookies and candies and buckets of Coke Zero. Mm. And then when I was at the Park Hyatt a few months later in New York, Coke Zero was in my room.
Oh, that's service.
They've got a file on you.
They do.
But it's that extra level of service, and it's when I talk. So I think about what I pay for that room, for those rooms, and then what I'm paying on the ship. Plus, they're taking me places and they're feeding me. It's a pretty good deal. But again, remember that, concierge is great and they'll bend over backwards to do what they can for you, but there are limits. So if you're going to go in and be Karen and demand everything and then have a meltdown because you're not getting it, that's on you. But if there's a team of people that will bend over backwards to try and make everything you want happen, it's these guys. They are phenomenal. I can't say enough about them. I can't. And every experience, every single one, and there have been multiple, every single one has been stellar.
So the last morning of the cruise, is anything different for concierge guests than it is for the rest of us?
You are escorted off the ship.
Okay.
And you go when you're ready to go.
Oh,
okay.
You go when you're ready to go. You are escorted. Look, everybody's like, wow.
Making a note.
And you can go into the lounge and have a little, little snack before, have your coffee, and then you just tell the concierge, okay, I'm ready. Okay. And then they have their special key. So that elevator goes right down, doesn't stop. Because everybody knows if you're on deck 12 and you've got to get to deck 3 on debarkation day, and God help you if you're on deck 7, because you got 5 decks ahead of you that have filled that elevator.
That's when you go up and then go back
You go
down.
up and go back down. But with Concierge, you have the little magical key, and
Very nice.
it's express right down to 3.
How nice.
And they walk you right up to the exit.
That's nice, especially now because elevators are tricky because it's two
Individuals.
It's 2 individuals or one party in the elevators, and so that's the magical key of wonder right
Yes.
there.
Yeah,
you're
no.
talking about. Wow.
I think all the time, like, how can I get that off their keychain? Because I'm sure it works on all the ships.
Right.
But, look, and it is a premium. Again, these rooms are not cheap. They are not discounted. You are never going to find a Florida resident rate on a concierge room. You're not going to find a travel agent rate on a concierge room. You want
No
these, you're paying.
GTYs.
There goes my hopes and dreams flying off into Neverland.
You are going to pay. You're going to pay full price for these, but it says a lot that on this cruise, I could have gone ahead with a Florida resident rate. I could have gone ahead with a travel agent rate. Now I won't review it if I'm doing that. So, but I could have just gotten a regular stateroom and paid full price and probably gotten it for about $2,500, $2,600. But I intentionally, purposely, first of all, it's been a pretty crappy year. And I haven't been able to travel much. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. But I think of, getting that room and then going into the spa and getting different treatments. And I thought to myself, I've spent more money going to Canyon Ranch out in Arizona and doing a spa weekend. And I'm like, why don't I just do that here? Do that here. And concierge rooms, also it's important to note, you have the concierge veranda room, which is an upgraded version of a regular veranda room, but you have access to concierge. Some of the amenities in are a little bit nicer.
A pillow menu.
The pillow menu is one of them. You have the 1 bedroom. You have the 1 bedroom, which is what I was in. And then you have the Roy and Walt suites, which are like crazy. Like they sleep 7 or 8, I think.
So on the Wonder and the Magic, yes, they sleep 6 or 7. And then on the Dream and the Fantasy, they only sleep 5.
Okay. But they also have a hot tub on
They do.
the balcony.
They do. And on the Wish, they have ocean view concierge rooms. There's 7 of them that are on the front of the ship. So it's like you're on the bridge, and so you're facing forward, and it's wall of windows. Those were, and they're going to be Little Mermaid themed, and they were super popular when we had the Wish release in May. Those were the ones that sold out before any other category, and they sold out like instantly.
I bet. We watch a lot of the bridge view on the TV in the
Right.
stateroom.
Yeah.
And that's a fun view to watch.
Yeah.
Because the birds do little dancey stuff. And
Yeah,
in front of the
everybody
ship
was
and-
really
I
excited about
don't
those.
know
I
if they,
bet.
and I didn't try it on this cruise. I don't know if they still do it, but there was, prior to COVID, in a 1 bedroom, if I wanted Palo in my room, I could have Palo delivered to my room.
Yep.
And I had done that multiple times.
You would be so happy, Jackie.
Telling
Because you have a small dining table in there that's about, I think it seats 4 on that dining table. I think there was like 4 chairs there. You have a small living room area. You have pull-out couch, which is where he slept. And then you have 2 full baths in that 1 bedroom. You have the master bath, the primary bath. And then you have the guest bath.
That bathroom was huge.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no, the bathroom-
gorgeous, which we should say, make sure we check out if you're listening to this and you want to see what Pete's room looked like, go to the DCL fan Facebook group, and there's a link there that you can see a like 3D walkthrough video that he created that is amazing.
That Drake created. Drake is the one that using the Matterport
And the
camera.
bathroom, like I was walking through it, and when we went into the bathroom, I'm like, oh my God, it's huge.
It's got its own zip code. It's fab. And, it really well-appointed rooms. First-rate service. If you're used to Concierge and you've never done it on DCL, you will be impressed. You will be impressed. If you've never done Concierge and you do it on DCL, everything else is going to disappoint you. Okay? Everything else. You do DCL Concierge for your first time, and then you do Concierge at another Disney resort. You'll be like, oh, okay. DCL did this and DCL did that. It's an entirely different experience. It's an entirely different experience. And DCL ruined Walt Disney World Concierge for me. I haven't stayed Concierge at Walt Disney World in years. I haven't stayed in a Concierge level there in years because it doesn't measure up for me. I'm sorry. It doesn't measure up for me to DCL. DCL is the platinum standard. And worth every dime. Incredible team, incredible service, incredible experience. I got nothing bad to say. It's worth it. It's worth it. If you can afford it, it's worth it. And I don't know, just Elaine at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. She can help you book it.
I got you.
Plus, our shipboard credit.
Oh, that's the best.
Our shipboard.
Walking on with shipboard credit.
You're walking on the ship with money.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
We put money on your account before you even get there.
Well, and you were talking about the cost, and that was for your one bedroom. So right now I'm booked on one of the veranda concierge rooms for the Wish in September, and it was only $3,100.
Wow.
Oh. Mm.
Like I honestly, I'm kind of still shocked at the price that it was that inexpensive. But
Poor thing doesn't realize it was $13,100.
So, I mean, the veranda rooms aren't that bad. I mean, I typically see them for the 4-night sailings. I typically see them on all of the ships, and it depends on the time of year. About $4,000. And it depends when you're sailing and how many people you got in your room and that kind of thing. But yeah,
it really. See, I like the one bedrooms. I like space, especially as I expand. I like having more space. It's also like for me, I'm very into my privacy.
right.
And so there are times where I just want to be in my room.
Right. And I'm the same way. Like I like just being in my room sometimes.
And so having a room like that to be in, not a terrible thing. But so any questions you have about that, please reach out to Elaine at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com, and links to everything in the show notes right below this. And that is going to do it for our show for this week. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again next week with another episode of the DCL Show. Have a great week, folks.